Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is things I've learned with Secret.Yapzor's Crystal Maiden in 7.16. As of every video, I'm here to tell you guys that I'm casting every day in my attempt to become a full-time caster. I'm not being sponsored by Pvgna anymore, and because of that, I'm trying to reach other means of making my Dota career viable. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you're interested in high MMR pubs being cast by your crispy boy, tune in every day around 12 hours after the video gets posted. As all of you know, this hero got a couple of buffs in the last patches. For instance, in 7.12, the second point in Arcane Aura is 40% better than it used to be. She got more attack speed slowing the hero when she ults, and intelligence heroes in general benefit more from the mana regen, which is pretty good. She's also one of the few heroes that can get experience reliably in the jungle without losing too much time or HP. But let's not trick ourselves. In this game, you will see a different facade of Crystal Maiden. Not the farming. CM and Beastmaster is not usually a combination that people talk about, but it's not that different from your IO Beastmaster or Koto Beastmaster. In terms of mana given, at least burst-wise, the hero doesn't excel, but the lockdown with very low downtime of Crystal Maiden definitely helps. So let's see how this position for Crystal Maiden plays. First of all, check the item build. Very heavy in regen. These mangoes in particular will be key to the early. First, know the Yapzor's positioning here. He doesn't show at all, but he's in the perfect spot to follow up if Radiant fucks up. As soon as they go down the ramp, he starts going forward since there's no vision. He checks everyone's inventory and he quickly commits the first Frostbite. With the changes to intelligence, this hero can use Frostbite twice again, and since the cooldown for the skill is dead low, note how Yapzor uses her beautiful body to block the disgusting ogre, and that's first blood for Dire. It's important to know that he doesn't pop the clarity yet. Ideally, you want to make full use of it, so when he's sure that no fight will happen anymore, he goes for it, and when Bloodseeker shows here, there's no point in trading hits because it will cancel the clarity. When Ogre comes back, Yapzor doesn't commit Frostbite. He knows that he wants to cancel the clarity, so he lures the Ogre away. He waits the cast animation for the slow before he goes for the Frostbite, so what happens is that the clarity gets cancelled after 75% of usage, and not only that, Ogre takes a lot of harass that he would not take if Yapzor just tried to man up on the Ogre as soon as he saw it. At this stage, a lot of players would be satisfied with the results and they would go farm their level 2, getting a large cap. After all, the aura is awesome, right? Yes, it is awesome, but Beastmaster is a deadly hero, and dual laning with him makes Radiant's game awful. So when he sees Radiant playing aggressive, look what he does. He lingers around. He considers going for a Frostbite on the creep, but with Ogre there, he can just zone Yapzor, cancel the clarity, and get the CS afterwards. What Yapzor does is linger around, waiting for his level 2. Most players don't expect for Crystal Nova being up at level 2, so look what happens. Yapzor knows that this range creep will give him level 2. Bloodseeker is under Blood Rage, and that's the perfect time for them to go. He starts with the Frostbite, follows up with the Crystal Nova since he was full mana, since he chilled with the Clarity, and not only that, thanks to the mangoes he has, that's a double for the Beastmaster. The other scenario would be him getting level 2 like 15 seconds earlier, getting the Arcane Aura, but for what avail? Beastmaster would be getting no CS, he would maybe get zoned out, maybe killed. With the lane being dominated like this, Yapzor will not have a tough time getting level 3 at all, and that fight gives him boots gold as well as extra clarities. Note how he keeps on chilling. He can protect the Beastmaster while he's farming thanks to the mango in the inventory, and yeah, maybe the Arcane Aura comes slightly later, but it's for sure worth a double kill and shutting down the enemy carry. Even after the clarities, he doesn't leave the lane. With these offlaners like Axe, Night Stalker, and Beastmaster, you have so much aggression that jungling can actually lose you the game. It's worth noting how Yapzor uses vision. Here he uses this tree to hide so that the Ogre cannot cancel the clarity, while he's still in experience range and protecting and being protected by the Beastmaster at the same time. As he closes the gap, he always uses the trees. Another important aspect of this laning stage is that if Ogre uses the slow to cancel the clarity, there's no slow for the Beastmaster and they can probably dive Radiant. So knowing that, he provokes Radiant slightly now that he has Arcane Aura and doesn't bother that much about mana regen anymore. They finally decide to get the Ogre, and you can see how strong this hero is in the laning stage. The low cooldown of Frostbite and Crystal Nova in a dual lane scenario like this is insane. Since Beastmaster is definitely ahead now, Yapzor can finally leave the lane and look for the 4-minute rune, and we see another crispy rotation. He pings mid, checks, lashes inventory, no the Fairy Fire. He times the rotation with the ward he bought, slows from the low ground only after the stun ends, and since he was aware of the Fairy Fire and had that double damage, they get that one. He makes sure to fare more clarities to keep the aggression up, and he gets his Trankles going as well as a 1. Bloodseeker and Ogre, and even Undying and Lash spam a lot of spells, so the 1 has huge value this game. As he goes back, it's about to be 5 minutes, so he makes sure to protect the bounties. While Ogre gets 1, he dies. And look how crispy Yapzor plays here. His clarity gets cancelled, and as soon as he's able to frostbite the Bloodseeker, he pops another one to maybe follow up. But he was too fast. This is the first camp he farmed during the entire game. Know that he has mana for TP plus 1 skill to assist if they go mid. While his DK dies, he knows that Ogre TP mid, so instead of fighting 3 heroes mid against a tombstone that he cannot kill, they dive Bloodseeker once again. And with that catapult wave in Beastmaster, this is a lot of tower damage for them. Another interesting thing to mention is his second pointing Frost Nova. With the aura being way better than before, and him having such a strong brawler onto that Beastmaster, he decides to get it. Eventually, they go for a play on Bloodseeker, look what happens. Look at the clicking patterns from Yapzor. He's trying to get the shortest path possible, and he gets the max range Crystal Nova. He also only frostbites as the silence is about to come out, so that he makes the most out of the Q's slow. Even then, they lack damage just slightly. As he disengages, he wards the area. Having that type of vision as you run away might be a game changer. Since he knows there's no splitter for available yet, he can go back and slow the Lash. And look how having vision from the punny allows Yapzor to buy a lot of time. If you had sound, you would hear the Lash actually wasted the splitter, and that also buys time for his cooldowns and DK showing up. Thanks to that ward, Yapzor knows that he cannot go all in to help DK, so he lingers all the way around. Yes, Lash doesn't die, but his TP does nothing for him besides killing one offlaner as he goes back to his Fountain, whereas the DK is full HP and they wear the Ogre down. They also lure every single other Radiant hero towards that lane, and yes, Yapzor dies, but this creates a shit ton of space. As Yapzor goes back, note how he never jungles. This is a high-octane game, and you cannot TP to a shrine and start farming Satyrs, expecting to get a Blink Dagger in 5 minutes. If he's not fighting, he should be shoving lanes, and the second point in Crystal Nova definitely helps in that regard. Another thing to note on CM's build is getting ult to level 6. With Int giving more mana, you can actually cast all your spells at level 6, which makes the ult good enough, especially with lockdown from Primal Roar and Dragon Tail. Since Dire is fighting super aggressively top, look how he shoves mid with his support. He also tries to use the trees to engage sneakily onto that Ogre. They loot a lot of heroes back, and look how Yapzor, instead of running away from the path he came, goes towards the trees here. This place, in case Radiant dives, is a beautiful place to ult, but the Beastmaster is more interesting, and Yapzor just gets out. Since he knows that Rupture is on cooldown, look how he can delay the push slightly with Crystal Nova. He lures the creeps away, making it harder for Radiant to get the tower. But since he has no backup, he gets the bounty runes. His build keeps on switching between Arcane Rune and the Nova. The buffs to more mana and more mana regen make you able to fight better, especially in a game like this with constant brawl and no time for him to just like farm jungle camps. When they decide to fight top, look how Yapzor once again uses the tree vision to close the gap without being targetable. This play by itself not only gives vision of Lash, it forces darkness, Dire loses no one, and they even get the tombstone on top of it. As that happens, look at Yapzor's clicking patterns. He's constantly in and out of the fight, looking for someone out of position while trying his best to not get out of position himself. Again, we see the power of warding as a fight happens. Even though Ogre had sentries to cancel the ward, that was enough for Yapzor to find a target and, more importantly, to dominate this area with his team. Here we see Dire smoking and immediately finding Radiant. There's a ward there that Dire doesn't know about, and look how Yapzor doesn't engage. They don't have DK with them, and they are fighting into a tombstone that they cannot kill. Blood Ride was not used, so trying to YOLO for an ult here is asking to lose everyone besides the DK. His Crystal Nova is on cooldown as well, so he doesn't even bother to get closer to Frostbite because that will kill him, and accepts that's a losing fight. CM is a hero that has to avoid dying too much, especially as a 4. You need to get those extra levels and items to create impact, and there's no kill to be had here, so there's no point in actually dying. It's clear that Dire is rotating bottom, so look what Yapzor does straight after that. He doesn't jungle in the left side of the map, he shows mid with Crystal Nova. This play alone forces 2 Radiant TPs mid, guaranteeing that the fight they lost means nothing in terms of objectives lost, and that's very important in this match. After that, he goes top to push, and again we see him using the trees to set up a fight. Yapzor though didn't really close the gap as best as he could, maybe underestimating how much decaying 2 heroes would help the enemy hero. Meaning that a small clown fiesta unfolds. Obviously, it makes no sense for him to follow up the decay. And with vision from TP's back to Radiant's base, he can easily defend bottom. That TP also sinks in with the Pvgna rune spawning, putting Yapzor very close to his Blink Dagger. I'm a big fan of his item build this game. Radiant has no BKB piercing disables, and he has 2 heroes with huge lockdown that have mobility. Getting 4 staff versus Rupture doesn't really help, and a lot of the times getting Glimmer Cape also doesn't really help, because Bloodseeker will get True Sight if they get low enough. So he's also playing 4, so getting a greedier item like Blink Dagger is pretty cool. This is the first Blink ult we see during the game. Bloodseeker is showing top, and Yapzor only blinks in after the hero with the stun gets stunned. He makes sure to disengage as the Blade Mail and Bloodrite get laid out, and knowing that Ogre is dead, he TPs away after using his wand beautiful. They baited a lot of buybacks, and they also fought into this ward that Yapzor planted earlier. He's playing position 4, but most of the wards he used were key and allowed his team to fight in their terms. As his team fights bottom, a fight starts, and pay attention how beautifully Yapzor plays. First of all, his smoke gets revealed, and Ogre doesn't even care about him, so he knows he's out of vision, and can use those trees to fight. He clicks super close to the trees to have max run to lock Ogre, and instantly gets out until Crystal Nova gets used. He repeats the same pattern, but makes sure to get both heroes into the Nova. He waits all of this without ever committing his Blink Dagger, by the way. Against that team, if he blinks aggressively, he either kills everyone or dies. And without the follow-up, he doesn't want to die for nothing, so holding on the item is key for him to die once against a team of Bloodseeker, Nightstalker, Ogre, and these crazy aggressive heroes. They find even more kills, and as nighttime comes, note how he quickly wards the unknown area of the map. There's no way for him to save his ally there, so he gets out, but with the vision, they only lose the Beastmaster after also forcing Rupture. He quickly gets double bounties, something he did religiously this game when possible, so well played. The Blink Dagger proves to be very useful a fair amount of times. Here, Yapzor is pushing mid and quickly disengages from the urn of the Nightstalker. Afterwards, not only he can hold the enemy, he can reposition and a crazy fight unfolds. The way he plays the area of the map he's the most safe is very good, allowing him to contribute but never die unnecessarily. Finally, Radiant dives tier 3s, and they pay the price. Eventually though, he gets G-baited towards this poor Ogre. He felt like that was an easy kill, but unfortunately that was not the case. But he makes sure to tip his ally to pump their spirits and not being toxic at all. This is one of the key fights of this game. Yapzor was always shoving lanes instead of jungle, and in this particular case, Yapzor gets a glimpse of the Punny going top to defend, and he quickly TPs mid to engage onto the rest of Radiant. If you check Radiant's net worth, that Punny is worth 11k of their net worth. DK was ready to go in, and with that Blink Dagger, even with the BKB, Bloodseeker dies quickly. Not only that, he can follow up onto the Nightstalker, giving Necro a godlike streak, while also getting Roshan for his team. As the Rosh gets attempted, since he's a poor CM and doesn't really help getting Roshan, he pushes top, so that if they push mid, that doesn't become a problem later on. He makes sure to eliminate the range creeps but goes back, since Radiant will start to engage. When he spots the Ogre, look how he waits into the high ground, luring him closer and closer, allowing not only him but Jakiro to follow up. Unfortunately, thanks to Beastmaster being that low, Bloodseeker gets there so fast that he gets ruptured and falls. They do get the Aegis though, and they win eventually. Well guys, this is it for today. This is the support video of the week. If you like this video, if you like this hero, if you like Yapzor, please make sure to like, make sure to guide me so that I can choose the best players and the best heroes that you want to see here in the channel. If you care about my life and if you want some Dota tips or some shit posts, follow me on Twitter. If you want to support my casting career, if you just want to see me play or cast, follow me on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you can quickly subscribe. It's free. It's gonna help me a lot. If you care about my life or spoilers of the next video, Instagram is the way to go. And if you want to talk with people that care about Dota and you're a crispy boy, join our Discord channel. There's a lot of people there. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a good time. And yeah, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye.
呢？队友呢？队友呢？队友呢？队友呢？ 队友呢？队友呢？